night. You've tuned in to the podcast that you need in your life. I'm your host, Mo, and welcome to the Mean Girls 1821 Experience. But you know it as a podcast where we mean what we say what we mean, and we do it all within 3 to 5 minutes. The premise of this podcast is truth. So each and every Friday, I'm going to encourage you to do 3 things. Number 1, show up fully, because those that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. To walk with integrity, and last but not least, to reflect, because beloved, sometimes it's you. So without further ado, I skipped something. Did you honor yourself today? Let's do that now. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Life be lifing and adulting is ghetto. So if you've made one progressive step today, it's good enough for me. And if all you can do is take a deep breath, that works too. Now, on today's episode. A friend of mine a couple weeks ago asked me this question. She said, can I do content on how to get back to God? And I thought it was a wonderful question because if I can be honest, I've been in that space more than not. And if you can be honest, at times you have too. And as the old saints used to say, if you haven't, just keep living. And so I'm here with this question, and it makes me think about a couple of things. Number 1, the Bible tells us that the Lord will never leave us nor forsake us. And so getting back to someone who's been consistent implies that one of us switched up. And based on the word, it had to be us, because he's never left. And his word promises he will never forsake. Which leads me to the next question. Why? Why did I switch up? You guys remember, like, in your dating relationships, and it's the honeymoon phase, and you're talking all night and talking all day and texting all day, and then it just gets dry. Somebody falls off. Somebody's patterns switch up. And the reason why that happens is because something gets in the way. The same is true with relationship with our Father. What's gotten in the way with you and God and your flow? Is it social media? Is it a new boo? There was a post that said, once you get what you want from the Lord, don't forget about him. Because that's the thing, child. Let's be honest, okay? Is it your social media time? Is it your work? What is it? And once you've identified what has gotten in your way with spending time with the Father, the next step is, how do we fix it? Well, the same way you would repair a relationship with a friend is the same way you would reconnect with the Father. Keep in mind, you're already forgiven, so you don't have to beg for him to receive you. Like the parable of the prodigal son, he is standing there with his arms wide open, ready for us to return. And so the first step to returning is communication. Talk to him. I know a lot of times when I try to communicate with God, it can feel like, he doesn't want to hear from me. But that's nothing but the trick of the enemy. Because since I've been away from him so long, I don't recognize his ways. I don't recognize his love for me. Because the longer you're away from something, you don't recognize the characteristics associated with that person. And so the further away, the more time I've been away from the Father, the less I can recognize, hear, understand his love and his heart for me. So the first thing is communicate. If it's difficult just to open your mouth, go to his word and read about how he feels about you. Your royal priesthood. He sent his only son to die for you. He loves you. He is waiting for you to come back. And so if you find yourself in a space where you don't think you're ready, you'll never be. But we have the blood of Jesus that covers all of that, giving us access to the Father anytime we need him. And once you've gone to his word and recommunicated, set a plan so that you could be consistent. Because day 1 is always good. But it's not, as the Bible said, the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but it's the one who endures to the end. And even in our relationship with God, we shouldn't be thinking swift. We should be thinking endurance. Let me allocate 5-10 minutes just prayer. That time will grow. Let's be committed to 5 to 10 minutes of prayer. From there, God will lead you in His Word on how He wants to move this relationship. But reconnecting is as simple as turning around and talking to Him. And I promise you, He'll be there with His arms wide open, ready to receive you. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mean Girls 1821 podcast with me, your host, Mo. Tune in each and every Friday for a fresh episode exclusively found on my YouTube channel or using the podcast app. And always remember, words have power. So whenever you speak, mean what you say and say what you mean. Take care.